7-1 Phillies, back to 500, back on even footing as they get set to take on the first-place Mets beginning tomorrow in New York. Ricky Pitalico, Ben Davis, I'm Michael Barkan. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. John Kruk in a moment from the park. Ricky Bo, take it any way you want, but you look at Zach Wheeler on the mound, gives up just one run, and they look great.
I thought his fastball is really starting to come back. I think the command is much better with that fastball. He got in a little bit of trouble in the third inning, but besides that, I thought Zach Wheeler was really on top of his game. And it's not just that. He's getting swings and misses now. And when you go even further, bullpen came in, Hand had a little bit of trouble, but the rest of the guys kind of got the job done. When I look at this game from the offensive side, it was almost like, okay, what more can the Rockies hand over? Because that's a beautiful thing. In one inning, they went through 10 batters. The Phillies threw 10 batters up at the plate. One hit.
Yeah.
Rockies, you should be ashamed of yourself. That should not happen in Major League Baseball. Other than that, out of their first 3 runs, they scored 3 different ways. We'll get into that a little
And
later.
they will take it. I said 1 run for Wheeler. Obviously, I meant 1 run for Hand, 1 hit only for Wheeler. Ben, when you look at the bats, yes, they had help. But certainly they came to play today.
Yeah, they had a lot of help, and one in particular, Alec Boehm, what he's doing right now, it's awesome. It's fun to watch, and he continues to grow maturity. He gets a 2-0 changeup today and goes up top, able to turn on that pitch, but he had RBI ground out early in the ball game, so it's good situational hitting there. And you really had to juice one to get out of that ballpark today, and Alec Boehm did that. It was fun to watch. Just 4 hits for the Phillies today. That was, honestly, I feel bad for Bud Black and that Rockies team. That was one of the most poorly played 4 games I've ever seen played, especially at the big league level. This is the big leagues. That was really poorly executed. Well, nice that the Phillies took advantage.
When you think about it, how many runs did they hand the Phillies? We're talking silver platter, what, 10, 12 runs in a series?
Yeah.
They didn't really hand them just runs. They handed them the series.
That one inning.
They handed him a sweep.
That one inning, the Phillies had 1 extra base hit today and scored 7 runs.
Right.
That's not easy to do.
And they'll have the ultimate test tomorrow playing the first place Mets. But when you look at that, how good is this Phillies team? Can you tell when Colorado gave them so much help?
Take a deep breath, Michael, because it's a first-place Mets team. They're playing well. They're doing it for a reason. They have very good starting pitching. And if you like pitching, we might have some pretty good matchups coming up in the series. It should be an interesting series. The Phillies are going to have to bring their bats. There's no doubt about that. And the one thing you have to remember is you're not going up against the Colorado Rockies. That Colorado Rockies team that came in here for this 4-game series did not show up.
Yeah, let's get a thought from John Kruk. Called today's game with Tom McCarthy, and he's across the street, of course, at Citizens Bank Park. John, they've won 4 straight. They've won 6 out of their last 8. We were talking about how Colorado hand-wrapped some of the items in this 4-game series, 32 Phillies runs. Do you have a sense of how good this team is, even up at 500 now?
Yeah, just by what I saw offensively from them, the last few years, if they weren't hitting homers, they didn't score many runs. And they hit a few home runs in this series, but not a ton of home runs. But, they manufactured, they situational hit. Now, I heard Ricky say, they're going in New York. New York has some great starting pitching, so it's going to be a battle. But, if they continue to focus on the execution, situational hitting and executing, they have a shot at this to win this series in New York too. The Mets might not even show up, Michael.
I don't think
That's
they
how
should.
Good the Phillies
I think it would be futile. But how beneficial? And I heard you talk about it with Tommy during the game. How beneficial is not having a day off for the Phillies right now?
Yeah, if you lose 3 out of 4, you want to have a day off, especially if you lose the last game of the series to make it losing 3 out of 4 in a 4-game series. But the way the Phillies are playing right now, the worst thing you can do is sit and have to sit and watch a game or sit and miss a day. Travel up to New York, whatever. I know it's not a long trip, but you want to go right back out and play. I mean, the ideal thing would be if they played a day game tomorrow, which the Phillies would probably be ecstatic about, just to get back out there, because what we saw in these 4 games, that's a hell of a lot of fun. And they want to continue that fun, but you get an off day, sometimes it can slow up that momentum and things you have moving forward as far as a team goes, what you're building on. But I'm so happy that they're playing tomorrow, and hopefully they can take this momentum that they have building right now, that they did in this 4-game series, and take it into New York.
All right, my friend. Thanks so much. I know you got to go and stroll the bases now. We'll let you do that. And in fact, that's why you're not doing the game.
Yeah, I'll wait for you.
Okay, I'll be right there. I got to get my oxygen. Thanks so much, John Kruk from the booth calling the game. And I would think, as he said, as John said, if they could play this time tomorrow, it would be really great for the Phillies.
The reason why I said you're playing the Rockies right now, you're not playing the Mets, you're probably not going to see the shoddy defense that we've seen of the Rockies up at Citi Field. The Mets are a much more solid team, obviously, than the Rocks. And you have to go in with a killer instinct. And I agree with John Kruk 100% that situational hitting, stealing bases, taking the extra base, that's all fine and dandy. But you better know your defense. You better know who you're taking that extra base against. You better know where that ball is. You better pick up your third base coach at all costs. You have to be into these games. You have to be 100% mentally into these games. I know it's early on the season, but this is your second series with the Mets. You have to make a statement.
Ben, we talked about the depth in this lineup, the versatility and diversity in this lineup, and it seems like Joe Girardi, Odubel's leading off yesterday, Segura's leading off today, Quinn's back in the back of the lineup, he's contributing up and down the lineup. Obviously, Hoskins is struggling a little bit, some other guys are having some bumps, but this lineup really has some depth.
Yeah, it's got some length to it, Michael, and I think this is something you're going to see throughout the course of the year. We talked about it, we saw it firsthand in spring training. There's a lot of versatility there for Joe Girardi and what he can do, how he can manipulate this lineup. He's got a lot of options. He's got a lot of weapons. And we saw today that, again, I know they hit the home run, but they can find different ways to beat you offensively. Yes, they're going to hit a lot of balls out of the ballpark. Yes, you're going to have a couple guys in this lineup that are going to hit 300. So that's great. But the bottom of the lineup is contributing. The middle, I mean, they're picking each other up right now, and that's what you like to see.
All right, Ben must go. He is joining the team on the bus on the way up to Citi Field for tomorrow's game. He'll be in the booth with Tom McCarthy.
Go get on the bus, Gus.
So get on the bus. So I know you got to take your leave. Great job as always. Thanks so much. Ben Davis joining us. How about Joe Girardi? Here he is post-game.
Zach. Really encouraged. And I was really encouraged after the last start. You know, I wasn't sure exactly when it was going to come. And I think there's more still that will, as he builds up. I think that's his third start. Right? Third, fourth, right? Yeah. So I still think there's a little bit more that we'll get, but it's encouraging.
What's the biggest? I mean, you see, like he walked 4 guys today, but like the velocity was up. Where do you see him?
Yeah, he was, and those were long, drawn-out walks. Those weren't just like ball 1, ball 2. I thought he had better command actually of his fastball today. Thought his cutter was good. I thought he was locating down and away really well to right-handers, and then he had the ability to elevate or sink one in. So I just think he's getting to where he needs to be.
Joe, they were a sloppy club in this series, but you did what you have to do to a sloppy club.
Yeah.
How come sometimes teams capitalize and sometimes teams don't capitalize?
It's hard to say. I don't ever think it's a lack of effort, but the one inning we scored 4 runs, we had 1 hit. Right, and we were able to capitalize. I just think that we had good at-bats in those situations. And not when you don't capitalize, you have bad at-bats, but things just kind of went our way.
Even throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
Managers haven't had much of a chance to see it, but Roman can produce runs like that.
Yeah.
You know, this guy stays healthy at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what we've always hoped, right? He was playing pretty well for us last year when he got hurt, and it was really unfortunate. But, I mean, that's what he's capable of doing, and that's why we brought him. We can use that in late-inning situations as well, that speed. So it was good. Drag bunt, steals second, steals third, and scores on a sac fly. He kind of created the run all by himself, and it's great to have that component on your team.
I know it was, at the end, it wasn't a close game, but in that third inning, it was a close game. And Wheeler makes a great defensive play, and Segura makes a great the turn, the double play. I mean, do you think this game is different if those 2 guys don't make those plays?
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, there were certain guys we didn't want to use in our bullpen today. We were staying away from. Yeah, I mean, because momentum is what you need to score runs sometimes. And it just kind of took the momentum away.
How encouraged are you with this fourth turn through the rotation? The first 3 times
Yeah.
not so good.
Much better and encouraged. Because I just think they're getting to where they need to be physically. And, again, everyone's had to deal with it, but sometimes it affects certain people more than others.
What do you think a sweep and being 500 does to the overall mindset from you right down to the roster as
I think
you
it's
go to New York for a big series?
I think it's uplifting. I do. I think it gives you more confidence going in. And obviously, you know, we always talk about momentum starts with your next day's starter, right? And how well they throw. But it sure is a lot better than the alternative in the way we were playing. I get to ask a question? Who are the Eagles going to take first pick?
It'll be a defensive player.
Yeah.
And they're hoping both the 2 quarterbacks are taken ahead, so it pushes players back.
Gotcha.
Can't wait for them to
So bet on an offensive player.
That is the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies asking about the Philadelphia Eagles. Who are the Eagles going to take first pick? They pick twice in the first round. Currently, 15 and 18. The draft, round 1, begins tonight. Ricky Bo, do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I think they trade both.
You think they trade both?
Yeah, they're going to move up and move down. How's that?
No way.
I'm telling you, I have insider information on this.
Got to get a beast on the line, either line, or
I said they're just trading up and trading down.
Okay. I'll take a linebacker as well. But a couple of things about what Joe Girardi said. The momentum and the confidence that even getting to 500 gives to a team, especially starting from where they did.
Well, it's a psyche. There's no doubt about it. You come in and you see yourself 4 games under 500. That's not a really good feeling. And then to climb that ladder to get back to 500, you don't want to go back down into the basement. So what you want to do is continue climbing that ladder. Like I said, it's not going to be easy. You're playing the first place team. But how do you get to first place, Michael? You climb. You beat that team standing in front of you, and it starts on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that.
I'm excited about this
Same
series.
here, Ricky Bo. We'll watch it tomorrow right here on NBC Sports Philadelphia.